Okay, so welcome. I'm Jason Donaldson, a Galactic Shaman and Healer. I help you remember because to remember is to heal. It's March 2nd, Monday, for the Monday morning meditation. And this is an interesting one for me because sometimes before these calls, I'll get online and I'll look and I'll try to get a vibe of what's going on collectively through the internet. And then other times I already know immediately and I don't even have to do that. And then this time it was like a bit of both, and I really wasn't getting anything. And as I was meditating, what was really coming through was just the busyness of the mind and how much more pronounced that is collectively for everyone based on we've been processing so much information for so long. And then now there's more stuff being revealed. There's the threats of war in bigger, grander ways. There's these patterns from childhood that are emerging. That's another theme I really saw, that these childhood wounds are really coming to the surface, and how a lot of that's playing out is in our relations. So whether it's with family or a romantic relationship, or even the relationship with our own body, how that's being more pronounced now. And a lot of this is beautiful and perfect, even though there's a part of us that would really not want to deal with it and rather just, you know, move it aside. Like, I thought I already processed this. I went to therapy. I did a journey. I meditated for, 1,000 hours. And it's like, why is this still here? And that's really what I've come to understand is somebody that doesn't have kids and never been married and just relentlessly tried to fix themselves and meditated all the time and tried everything. And honestly, I get quite frustrated because it's still there. And I'm realizing it's like a car that you hit a curb really hard and the alignment's off. And you go and get the alignment fixed at the mechanic, but always it still pulls to the left a little bit. And this is really what I see as the human experience. There's a part of us, our spirit, that is whole and complete and can overcome anything. And yet we're in a physical form. We're in this human lifetime. And it's kind of like that car we're driving. And the key to this is presence. So when we're not very present, when we're upset, when we're triggered, or if we're on some kind of substance that lowers our consciousness, that pulling to the left is going to put us in the ditch because we're not really paying attention. And all of a sudden we look up and we're in the ditch. But as we go along in this journey, as we use the meditation practices, the mindfulness practices, the breath work, more and more we catch that drift. We catch ourselves drifting into another lane. And I really see that's like the best way I can describe like childhood trauma and other experiences we've had, is it almost like etches something into our consciousness, into our memory, where it's always going to kind of pull us a certain way, but we can get better and better at like not succumbing to it, not falling into that pattern, into that rut, so to speak. So that's the biggest thing that came through as I was meditating before, is like really wanting to acknowledge with you guys the fact that there is more mental chatter in the mind, because a lot of that's happened collectively. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of unknowns and uncertainty in the world right now. And so that's going to be impacting us energetically. And very often that plays out with the mind trying to figure out what's going to happen next and how do I manage this. And that was the old paradigm that we're leaving now. So this is a new earth meditation, and really the new earth is about the heart. It's about being present in the moment. It's about being aware of those things but not succumbing to the pull of them. So it's the same with what's going on in with Russia and Ukraine. Like, all these missiles were shot over to Russia, right? And they were US missiles. There's this connection there. And then so Putin like decides to fire an intercontinental ballistic missile and drops it right in the middle of the city, but there's no warhead on it, basically saying like, look, this is what I could have done. And so that whole experience brings up this all kinds of things in the mind, like what could have happened, what's going to happen. And that's what I would want to work with today on the meditation. Is we're going to first work with acknowledging what's going on in the mind, what's going on emotionally for us, work with that energy. And then I want to take you guys into like a consciousness presence practice, something I've been using to help gain control over the mind, even though we never fully control it. But it's a way to like really orientate, like, oh, here I am. I am the master of my mind. It is not the master of me. and then working with that heart connection and calling in our spirit and our higher self. So that came very clear is like what meditation to work on, because it's like a combination of what I've been needing to use, because a lot of my other practices aren't working anymore. And I was told years ago that as we ascend, as the planet ascends and the frequency changes, more and more we won't be able to use our intellect to try to navigate reality. We're going to have to depend on our heart. We're going to have to depend on the now moment, and basically being in the field of love more than fear and trying to figure stuff out. So those people that are still trying to use the mental body to process emotion and to try to figure out life are really struggling right now. And that may be you, because everyone here is really intelligent and we're good at like using our intelligence to manage life and create and have success, but it doesn't work for life and relationships. And in fact, when we spend all the time trying to figure out those things, we can no longer use our intellect for like the practical applications. We're just exhausted a lot of times. So then we aren't able to accomplish what we want, or we set to a task, something we really want to do and create in the world, but then it would kind of burn out because there's all this other mental chatter around, why is my life like this? And why did this person do that? And why is, this way? So with all that being said, I do want to pull a couple cards to see if any of that was even relevant as like a confirmation for that message, or if anything else wants to come through. Thank you all so much for being here. One card that already jumped out, so let's see. Put that one to the side, and then what I'm getting first, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And so the Wheel of Fortune is basically like the turning of time, karma, the things that come to us. It's always like a pattern, like stuff will come around. You may notice this in your life where there'll be like the same relationships, same type of bosses, same type of situations, but slightly different. And so how I'm reading this with the energies and then this being reversed is basically we have the opportunity now, like as Mars is going retrograde and everything's kind of slowing down, like seemingly there'll be a part of us that's inspired and wanting to do all these things, but it's like not quite having the momentum or the energy, and to not beat yourself up about that. Like sometimes the best thing to do is just be still and be where you are and trust that something will be revealed, even though you have all this like excitement and energy, but there's not necessarily the will to do it at this time. So that's what I'm getting for that. And also the Page of Swords upright. And so that's like studying, being in like fully invested and fully focused on what we're wanting to manifest in our future, like what we want to attain or what we're moving towards. So if there's something that's inspiring you that really lights you up and that brings you joy, is like spending more time with that. When there's other things that maybe are frustrating or aren't really seemingly working out, or you're not sure what to do with them yet, is to like go back to what is it that really lights you up? What is it that you enjoy doing? And then going a little deeper into that, like maybe listen to someone you never listened to before on YouTube about that topic, or to reconnect with the joy and passion of that more from like remembering why you started it in the first place is what I'm getting. Like, why did you start this in the first place? What is your connection to it, and what lights you up about it? And the last card came through was the Knight of Swords reversed. That's similar to like the energy I was getting with the world reversed, or the wheel reversed. Is kind of like we're like ready to go. I want to do and accomplish and create these things. I'm ready to help people, and people really need this, and people really need to know this. And it's like kind of reeling it in, because if it's reversed, if it was upright, it'd be like, yeah, I'm charging in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this goal. I know exactly what to do. But it's kind of like, do you really know what people need? Do you really know what's right for you at this moment? You may think you do, but again, I'm getting it's like a time for pause and reflection, at least right now. And then at some point, we will be more clear to be able to charge in there and go after what it is we really want, because I feel like a lot is still changing in the world, and um, it won't, it'd be like a lot of spinning your wheels trying to accomplish something, and then later be like, oh, I spent all that time doing that when I could have just done, the thing I enjoy doing and have fun, and it actually raises my frequency, and that's the most important thing to do to change reality, really. Right. So, and then, so hopefully that was helpful and not too confusing. And if everyone's down for it, we'll get ready for the meditation. And so that can be just seated, you can lie down, whatever you're most comfortable doing. And so just as you find yourself where you are, just notice as you close your eyes what comes immediately into your awareness. Maybe a thought, maybe a sound, maybe a sensation in the body. Notice there's usually a judgment with it. There's usually some like critiquing of it, some like analysis of it. And just notice that too. Like notice the part is analyzing, categorizing, trying to figure everything out. We want to lovingly acknowledge that part and how hard it works for us. Notice that part that's noticing not only what came into your awareness, but also your thought about that awareness. And that's the part. That's our consciousness. That's the awareness of the awareness. And notice the mind step in again and get a little confused. And so with all this, we just tune into the breath, because that's really the simplest thing to bring us into this now moment. Just notice how you're breathing. As you do, I invite you to take a slightly deeper breath, breathing in through the nose, letting go out through the mouth. Just allow whatever's there to be felt, to be noticed, to be witnessed. And then stay with that breath as the anchor through the experience. No matter what is happening, no matter what thought, no matter what emotion, no matter what sensation, sound, smell, always the breath is there. Always the breath is that neutral anchor. Notice a part of you may be restless, wants to be doing, wants to be going. Just notice that and come back to the breath. Release with ha. And if there's any emotion coming up right now as you breathe, just lovingly acknowledge on your body where you feel that, wherever that emotion is, good, bad, otherwise, whatever the story or the label or judgment is on it. Just breathe and touch where you feel that. And maybe it's the whole body. Just lovingly acknowledge that energy. Same with the thought. Notice the thought that may be connected to that. And just acknowledge the thought with the breath as well. And let go with a ha. Let go of needing to go any further. Just coming back always to the breath, to this now moment. Maybe there's a sensation, a discomfort in the body, and we can do the same thing. Just lovingly acknowledge that area with a touch, with the breath, with your consciousness. These are the parts asking for our love, asking for our attention. And this happens throughout our day. When we're driving in the car, when we're waiting in line at the grocery store, when we're getting ready to walk out the front door. It's all this feedback in our body. And we've spent a lot of time trying to discern what it means and why and how to fix it or how to manage it. But how often have we just lovingly acknowledged it? That it's okay as it is, where it is, how it is. And this is the same for people. Anyone in our life that expresses something to us. How often do we just acknowledge them? Do we just let ourselves feel what they're saying, especially if it's upsetting? We just let ourselves feel and be there with them. And then just let go with that breath. So do that now in this moment. Whatever's there, just lovingly welcome it, lovingly acknowledge it, knowing that you can never be overwhelmed by it. That it'll never be a permanent, forever thing. For everything is fleeting, everything is transitory. Like this breath, like the air you breathe in with each inhale, with each exhale. Everything moves, everything's in motion. Make sure you're feeling your feet rooted and grounded. Your tailbone, just feeling that energetic connection you have to the earth always. And when you tune in, when you go within, you don't have to leave. You can actually be in the experience. You're strong, present, grounded, sustained with each breath. Each breath expands you literally and energetically. And each exhale allows you to release, relax, and let go. As you're doing this, you're going to acknowledge the mind and its need for orientation. We can do this with today is Monday, December 2nd. And state where you are in your mind. Yeah, I am on the Big Island, Hawaii. I am in my home or wherever you are. And then notice the sounds around you. What do you hear? What's in proximity to you with the sound? Do you hear the birds outside? Do you hear the buzzing of a fan? What sounds are around you? Just notice how those sounds can help you orientate more into your physical form. Drawing in your energy more and more to where you are, when you are, who you are. And find the sound closest to you. Sound that really draws you in within. Perhaps that leads you to your breath. The sound of your inhale and your exhale. Very often, this will also lead us to our heart, where you feel the beating of the heart, maybe the pulsing of the blood through the body. Just notice as you go within, as you tune in, that which is always happening becomes more salient, more in your awareness. You come home to yourself. And notice what else comes up as you do that. It's like when you come home and you find something out of place or something is different, or maybe a window was left open. It's like, oh yeah, right. So you can just go close that window. You can shoo the bird out. Whatever just doesn't feel like fully resonant with you, you can lovingly acknowledge it with that breath and then just let go with the ha. Not trying to force or change, but just, oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that. And another way we can do that, where we can really claim our space energetically, like clear out the home, clear out the temple, is to open that portal of the heart. So next inhale, focus on the heart, expand that energy, that connection, and let go. Next inhale, put a smile on your face. You breathe into your heart. Then let go with ha. And as you do this, as you're breathing into the heart, I want you to see that silver cord, that beam of light that's always coming in through your crown, through the top of your head, shooting down into the heart. This energetic connection we have to all things. Maybe experience it slightly different. Maybe just feel the energy in the body somewhere of this connection you always have to the divine, to God, to the universe. This is the energy we use to expand with each inhale. Relax and allow to flow all around us with each exhale. Remembering that smile, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the ears, relaxing the muscles around the eyes, relaxing the eyebrows. As you do, let your head tilt slightly, your chin go down a little. Just kind of let go and just allow a little more of a release, a little more dropping down into the body. Feeling your feet, feeling your root, and your connection to the earth. And how you're always held, always protected, always supported by the earth, by your home. Now we're going to go on a bit of a journey. Just stay with your breath. As you breathe in, a scene is revealed in your mind's eye. Perhaps this is your favorite spot in nature, a recent situation. Whatever comes to the mind, just notice that. Notice the environment of it. Let go of the past, let go of the story around it. It's almost like you can magically wipe everything away and just the environment's left. And then see yourself standing in that environment. If this is a new place, Sense and feel what it feels like to you. What's the energy of it? What do you notice? This is somewhere you've been before. Allow yourself to look with new eyes. Maybe you can see yourself there from before. And with that same breath, with that same heart, with that same connection to this universal divine energy, breathe that in, and at the same time, see this energy lighting you up in your mind's eye in that environment. And as you stand in this environment with this breath, with this heart connection, you're emanating, radiating, expressing this beautiful energy. Maybe it has a specific color. Notice what the color is. And if all this is challenging, just stay with the breath and know that there's a part of you that is fully participating with this, that is visualizing this in this moment. As you breathe in, expanding that light, that energy, you exhale and you see it shoot down into the earth, down into the land, wherever this is. And how when you do that, another energy comes up from the earth, matching you in your frequency, matching you in your gift that you just gave. For this is the time we're in now. That what you give will be received. What you put out will come back. But notice how the environment hasn't really changed that much yet. Or maybe it has slightly. And this is where the mind, the intellect will come in and judge that this isn't working. Why is everything like this still? But feel that connection to the earth and feel that connection to the above, to the energy you're drawing in, that which is your essence, your source, animating this form and blessing the earth with each breath. And we want to bring in the energy of love, which is the creational energy of all things. You do that with that smile, remembering that energy, what that feels like. Not of the romantic love, but just the love of life itself. The beautiful sunset, of that morning walk, of the birds singing, that beautiful beach, whatever it is that helps spark that. Remember that feeling, really light up that form in your mind's eye. See how at the same time you're doing that here now with the physical body. And as you're in this space, as you're in this environment, you hear a sound, it draws your attention in a certain direction. And you see an animal walk forward towards you. Slowly, intentionally, like they know you. They've been waiting for you to remember your connection even more strongly to the earth, to your true self, to your higher self. And as you're stepping into this more and more with each day, with each breath, they've come to lovingly acknowledge you, to present you with a gift, with a token of their appreciation for the gift that you are to this planet. That humans play a valuable role as stewards, caretakers of the land. So as they approach, maybe they're holding something in their mouth, maybe they're magical and they're walking and they hand it to you. Just notice what that is. Will you accept it? And even if this isn't coming clear, just the willingness to accept the gift from spirit, from the animal kingdom is enough. So as you receive this, notice how then maybe the energy changes in you. Notice the shift. Notice what you feel as you accept. Or if you decide not to, that's okay too. See if there's any messages that come through. Just listen, be curious as you breathe. Let go. So as you show your appreciation, affection, and care for this being, they turn to leave. As they leave, you feel even more rejuvenated, excited, inspired, knowing and remembering that just being here is enough. Just remembering to enjoy the beauty around you, to feel your connection to the earth, to remember who you are, your higher self, and draw that energy into you inside with each breath is enough. That as you look out, you'll see and notice all things. And what is it that inspires you? What is it you're guided to do? Not from a place of needing or have to, but want to. I would like to. So bringing that energy back into the heart with an inhale, calling back our energy to the here and now. Feeling your feet once again. Here in your space, wherever you find yourself. Wiggling the toes a little bit, the fingers, using that breath to expand the physical body. Big, deep inhale in through the nose. Out through the mouth with ha. And then notice the body. Maybe there's some pops and cracks and snaps as you breathe and start to stretch a little and lovingly acknowledge all that you had a deep relaxation, almost a reset for the body as well, that as you come back, there might be this popping. And now you don't even need to go to the chiropractor. It's just letting go and things start to realign, start to fall into place. And that breath can always assist you with that. So doing the same, coming back. It's Monday, December 2nd. Wherever you are in the world, hearing the sounds around you. And that sound closest to you, that breath, bringing you back fully to your temple, to your sanctuary, to your home, no matter where you go. Are always lit up, supported, strong, stable. So as you slowly open your eyes, just allow yourself to look around your room. Notice if you see any sparkles, if anything looks different. Maybe everything seems blue. Just notice what's different. as you look around, after having slowed down the mind a little bit, after having acknowledged any emotion that was there, after connecting with spirit. Welcome back. So that was interesting. I never really know where those meditations are going to go. So that was not expected, but something that is really relevant is how any environment we're in, we are a blessing and an opportunity and a shift and transformation that's available as we become more and more conscious, as we become more and more aware. We see more things, and we have a choice always. Do we succumb to what we see, to the fear that we feel, knowing that a lot of times it's not even ours? Or do we trust in our connection to the earth and to the divine, and that there is an actual path being laid out for us, that we've already achieved and attained the mastery, the enlightenment, the new earth, and we're on that journey right now, where it may not be evident in front of us. We may not see it directly, but we can feel it. We can know and trust that things are going to be okay, and that we can navigate it because we want to be here. We wouldn't have come this far otherwise. Like most of us have been through hell and we're still here and we're still breathing, and we bring that wisdom to any environment we come to. And the biggest thing is, can we lovingly acknowledge it without falling into it? And that's not always easy, because some people will want you to fall into it. They'll want you to be in their reality. They'll want you to feel what they feel. And one of the greatest loves we can offer is to acknowledge that without needing to support it. And that can be tricky sometimes. But hopefully this meditation will be helpful for that. And I'm feeling inspired to do more meditations. Like I'll start a playlist on my YouTube and just do just straight into the meditation and different breath work techniques and things. And I'll take some of the other ones that I've recorded and put them in there if you guys are interested in that. That way it'll be a little easier going ahead in these times to have something to access. And also, if you're on the Big Island, I have an event on 12/12 at the Pele's Sanctuary in Hilo, which is giant geodesic dome where we're going to be doing breath work, and New Age mantra is going to be there. So it'll be breath work, sound healing, guided meditation. It's what I used to do with these guys for like 2 years in Pune. Every week, sometimes twice a week, we do these ceremonies, and it's really powerful. And so people have been wanting it, so we're going to do it again. And Jacqueline's come to a bunch of them. Same with Carol. Yeah, I think everyone has Sefer Malu. So yeah, Malu, if you're available on the 12th, it'd be great to have you there. Yeah, I breathe with Jason. Thanks, Jacqueline. Yeah. So yeah, it's a breath work for all skill levels too. It's 3 rounds, and so it's tailored to wherever you're at with breath, and you can just listen to the amazing music too. So that's on the 12th. And there's going to be a screening of this movie, Aloha Rising, that I'm in, Aloha Spirit Rising. And that'll be at the Palace Theater January 17th. That's pretty exciting. This filmmaker, Soul, came and did this documentary on Pune and like the cosmic consciousness and everything that he experienced here. And so it should be interesting to see what plays out with that. It was a lot of fun, like having him come record us and everything during those ceremonies. And oh, great. I want to pull a Galactic Heritage card. So I've been doing these readings. I do tarot and energy signature readings, but I also started doing Galactic Heritage card readings, which are basically the information from our star brothers and sisters. Like all of us humans have DNA from all different star races. Like the Earth is almost like a genetic library. And we have all these star family, like our basically aliens, our cosmic brothers and sisters, and how they've gone through what we have, where right now we're in the path of ascension, and we're going through this integration of emotion and learning how to navigate emotion through the body instead of the mental body, and how this played out in every civilization throughout the cosmos, and how each one had a different struggle or a different attainment as the result of that. And so these cards help us connect to that energy of what was most challenging and what was overcome and what ultimately was the blessing in that experience. So a lot of our star family are here now. That's why you're going to be hearing more and more about aliens. And at some point they will actually visit in a way where it'll be undeniable to everybody. So that might be about 5 years away though. So these cards are helpful in really like getting to a galactic level of like our soul and how we've incarnated in other star systems, and we have a connection to these star races. I'm just going to pull 2 cards, see what comes out. So I got Lyra pushing the envelope. And this is, so the Lyrans are like the lion beings, the feline races, and they're the ones that were said to be like the pioneers of the star system. They were the ones that also, like in the shadow aspect of Lyra, would be total domination and control. Like their thing was like, because you go into an environment where if you don't like overcome it in a way, you'll be destroyed by it. Like going to live in Alaska in winter. Like there's things you have to do and create and have a certain level of dominance and able to survive. So the shadow part of that is when it goes so far where you have like these people and forces that are trying to dominate every aspect of society, because to them that's how they attune with God. That's how they become in harmony in their view, which to us seems crazy because you can't control everything. It's impossible. So that's the shadow side. But the positive side is when we see something like with this card with pushing the envelope, is like when we're like, wait a minute, I can do this. Like this is challenging and it really goes against all the trauma I've had through my whole life. Like what I do right now, talking to everyone, like I've had social anxiety my whole life, was literally diagnosed with it, took pills for it. And then I found like the power of my consciousness and spirit and how to like overcome that. But always there'll be this tendency to be a little nervous around people. And so that's like pushing the envelope. Like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway, because that's what lights me up, is to be with people and help people, even though it's the one thing that terrifies me. I'm not afraid of death or anything like that. I have a street bike and, I've jumped out of airplanes and I've bungee jumped, and none of that scares me, but it's like people. And it's more like what I'm going to do to myself if there's a bad interaction, what my mind's going to do to myself constantly. So like pushing the envelope is like, what is that? And that's what we talked about earlier with this card, where it's like, what is it that lights you up, that you're studying, that you enjoy? And at some point you want to present to the world, but maybe it scares you. So if there's something that scares you and you're ready to go beyond it, even though the timing isn't perfect right now, but like at some point it's like, wow, yeah, I really want to do that, but it's scary. And then the next card is Seeking Karmic Balance. And this is from the Pleiades. And so with this card, what I'm getting is, yeah, kind of like, God, that is just like the wheel, actually. Because like I was saying, the wheel is like the karma and the cycles and the patterns that play out in our lives. And so finding the balance with that would be like pushing the envelope. Like, I want to do this. I want to help people. Say maybe they have something that's going to help people, and you want to get out there and you want to really do it. And you got to make these people know, and you're going to fix them. Like when I used to mentor youth in the schools, we'd have men come volunteer and they're like, these boys need to learn this and they need to learn that. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like you can tell your story, but I don't know what they need to learn. Like we come sometimes with an agenda. So that would be like from another lifetime or something where we're wanting to like correct an experience we had and we want to force it on others. So it's just being mindful of when we're pushing the envelope, are we going too far, and why do we feel such a need and drive to do that? And that's what I had to work with these men that would come to the groups, is like, well, wait a minute, well, what's up for you with that? Why do you feel this is so important? And we would get them to come in and tell their story versus telling the boys what they needed to do. It's like, this is why I feel this way versus this is what you need to do. So it feels like that with what's happening. So energetically, if I was to put a big bow on this whole like update for the energy of this month, it feels like, what is it we really want to do? And really tuning into that and being in the energy of that without needing to force it on anything or anyone, not needing to know exactly how it's going to look or how it's going to play out, but like starting to move towards it, but not knowing how it's going to play out, and like not knowing, like allowing ourselves to be curious as we step into it and move forward. So hopefully that's helpful. You can find me at jasondonaldsonhealer.com if you want a session, or I do online mentoring and other events and things. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording, and then for everyone that's here, we can dive a little deeper.